Hello everyone, and welcome to the 13th week of the Fuel Esports Weekly Update. We've got a busy week coming up, so let's talk about what to expect coming up soon. Last week's Monday night game night was for chess, which saw Fanshawe students compete in timed competition against the Fuel Esports community. Thanks for coming out. The next chess night will be in January. We'll let you Fuel Esports and external competition. Stay tuned at Fanshawe Fuel and all social media for daily updates on the upcoming matches. We'll also be bringing select matches to Rogers TV on Channel 13.
Welcome back, folks. We're jumping into Series 2 here as Fuel now facing off against Conestoga Condors. Condors already up a goal off the hop. We're seeing that aggressiveness come out. A flick there toward the net. Won't quite go in as Ches is able to control this and take it to Condors' end here as they're now pressing this attack.
Now, I can't believe we missed that first goal. That's super frustrating to see. But that's got to also be super frustrating for Fuel. I love how we're right into the game. You know, you don't want to get these players to get cold hands. You know, that goes for anything, right? So just a great job. But I hope we can keep this teamwork up and keep this pressure up. But Cyber's doing a really good job, and we've seen a lot of him. But Poke with a nice little air dribble, but just can't squeak it by Reeker there. But still keeping this offense going. This is what I'm talking about. If you can extend your offensive possessions, you're gonna find a flaw like right there. A huge little 50 win, and almost scored a goal off it. And again, another mess up, and Jane now has barely any boost. For the side of the Condors, they have a ton.
I am quite curious here. I'm watching the Condors play, and I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern. You see, they'll go for this first attack and attempt to essentially appear like they're committing, but they'll usually bail out of it, or they set it up as an easy block. That's when that second player comes in and swoops for the real attack. But Fuel here, a potential attack on the net, but both Reeker and Ches weren't quite able to get a paw on it, leaving them now with an overextension into their end as Pope tries to go for an aerial in. 80 there's going to go up, having to contest against Jane and Reeker. They will be able to control this. Fuel, the pressure is on them. This is the 5th, 6th shot on their net, and Poke here now controlling that flow going into their end. It is all about pressure this game. Can you pressure the opponents to make a mistake? Can you pressure them, get out of their way? Can you hopefully see whether or not you can make something happen? A beautiful pass way to Poke, but it goes off the crossbar, leaving Fuel here with the potential to make something happen on attack.
And now I'll tell you, as someone that plays Rocket League myself, my least favorite sound is #1 when you lose. #2 is when you hit the post. It makes that ding sound. Yeah. I heard it there. If I'm like one of the Condor players, right? If I'm Poke or Cyber, right? I'm like, oh my goodness, you were so close to scoring, right? Putting yourself up 2-0, and you just weren't there. And that that could cost them. It's just very close. But honestly, like you said, the Condors have had so many shots, and we missed the first like 40-ish seconds. Who knows? There could have been like 2-3 shots already that we didn't see. They're just keeping this constant pressure up. And like you said, it's these rotations. They're very fluid, very solid. They trust in each one of their players to just go one at a time to get this going. And then they're just going to keep coming in and just keep it up. They kind of don't go together. They go, like I was saying, just like one after another. It's like, it's kind of like in most, early fights and shows when it's like the villains or the little guys keep going one at a time at like Spider-Man. You just have to take on one villain instead of having like multiple of them all attack at once. It's the same type of thing, but it can be very tedious. And that's going to be a nice shot, but a nice save. And some people say in things in video games, one big boss isn't as hard as a bunch of little ones. And what a goal. What a goal.
Oh my goodness, Fuel edging one out just off of so close there. Reeker, it just slipped in there. Poke almost had the chance to save that. Oof.
Wow. And he couldn't poke it out there, unfortunately. But kind of got a little bit lucky on the side of Fuel. Great job by Reeker to control the ball the whole way, get a shot on net. But nobody was back in a fake flip reset there by Reeker, which I love how he does those. Got to keep them on their toes. Because now the next time they might be ready for a fake, does something like that. And Jane, again, controlling that midfield. This is what I'm talking about. They don't let the ball kind of get over half on for their opponents. And if they do, it's going to be on their own terms, right? This is kind of a cleared ball here. It's not a great possession for the Condors. That's what Fuel wants. If you're going to get it past half, it's going to be something hard. And a nice demo there, and that's going to be a shot. But pokes it out of their own net on that time. But again, Ches keeping this offensive pressure up. Cyber is going to get a touch, passes it over, but no shot on net. It goes into the corner. Another double tap.
Yeah, we're seeing the coordination from Condors here, going for these pass plays, potentially almost a ones situation. But being said here, Andy there, 80 just controlling this in the mid. You see they're really good at keeping this ball up and controlling the direction for themselves. You know, like they have those coordinated attacks. They're playing off of Fuel's clears here. But Reeker, though, he's going to take it up. Not going to quite have the boost that he needs to really make something happen. Ches, though, keeping that pressure on, disrupting those perfect pass plays from Condors. Potentially go for an overtime here. Ches, though, with an opportunity. He slipped it by, but not in time!
Oh my god.
He touches the ground right before!
They tried to get a flick off, but he just couldn't get it on top of his car, and that's super... Oh, that's got to be heartbreaking for Fuel, and you know you got to just reset after that. Honestly, in that circumstance, I kind of want to be the Condors because you're like, woof, we got a new life, whereas Fuel's like, we could have won this. This game should already be over. We should be in round 2, you know? But, wow. But, a nice flip reset to pass it out. Little out front pass, you know, couldn't get it. But here, this is what I'm talking about. Controlling that midfield. Jane, again, going to keep this offense going, and now Ches can take his time, get back over here, and keep this pressure up, and take that boost from them, starve them of this boost to keep this offense going.
You can see them not really committing to this because they don't have that economy behind them. Ches, though, contesting in the air, won't quite manage to get where he wants. 80, though, is going to go for an interesting shot here. Goes to try get a flip off of the backboard. Doesn't quite make it happen here. Fuel controlling it in front of their net. Poke getting in the weeds there, trying to make something happen. But just a double whiff from both players will keep that pressure on. Cyber goes up. Ches from the back manages to drop it down and stop something from happening.
And another one. Give him 2. It's that Santa hat. I'm telling you, when you equip funny things, it helps your car. And Ches, again, going to be on that backboard with another save. And now Reeker needs to save this. And he does, keeping them alive. Oh, my goodness, man. If you wanted a nice, easy match, you should not have came here. Ches, he just got a Guardian. You know, that's if you get 3 saves. He just got it in 30 seconds.
Fuel, come on, guys. You're scaring me. Ches, though, my GOAT, keeping it real. Fuel now, he's got this opportunity to make a play happen, gets a bounce off the board. Spoke, though, will control this for a 2v1 on the Fuel side. Reeker controls this into the midfield. He's going to go up on the air, battled in the middle by Cyber. Poke's going to control this going into Fuel's end. Jane has a chance to keep this momentum going as Cyber just disrupting, getting in there. They have to control this bounce off the backboard, but 80 has enough distance away to keep that pressure on. A beautiful bounce off the top. It's going to go the flick over. Poke,
oh my god, another save!
My GOAT! Making it happen. Now Jane with Reeker on the attack. They're going to have to back check again. Cyber taking this into the air. Ches
another block by
gets a bump over. Reeker here controlling this in the pocket. Fuel now, Poke going up. Jane with an opportunity clearing into their end. They have to get something to happen. Ches with a beautiful disruption. But again, you know, Poke and 80 with beautiful clears, keeping it out of their end. They don't want any kind of momentum developing on their side. A potential demo attempt from 80 there as he's trying to keep this ball just on their side. Jane now does miss the up, but he won't get quite a clear as head as he'd like. Poke going for an aerial. He's going to get it around one, won't get it around the other. As Cyber kind of gets in his own way there, does get demoed by Reeker. Fuel now have an opportunity to make something happen.
This is kind of the first time Fuel's gotten a little bit of a breather after that demo, but still, they still can't. It's still in front of their net. Reeker, nicely done to keep it up. You know, luckily Cyber has no more boost, but 80 does not have that as he comes down with the ball and still some boost to play with. Reeker finally getting it out, but it doesn't seem like anytime they clear it, they just come back, and he just loses anything. Oh my god! What a save!
Jane! What
a save! Fuel. And it's still in Fuel's end, though, and they have no boost whatsoever. Another shot.
Get up there!
No! A redirect? What a shot! That might be the best overtime I've ever watched in my whole life. Oh my goodness. Look at this redirect. Holy aura!
Insane works from Condors here. Just execution after attack, after pressure, after disruption. They are making it happen and putting Fuel to the test here. I mean, this is exciting gameplay. Oh my goodness. Woo!
That was insane. That was nuts.
I jingled my jingles, folks.
That was insane. I said it earlier, but Christmas really is here. You know, it's a time of giving. They just gave us an absolute banger. You know, Fuel didn't win, but I feel like I won just being able to watch and commentate that game. That save by Jane, also triple save by Ches in like less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then also, oh my God, and then also Jane with that save. Still no boost, almost that whole possession, and still stayed in the game. It went for 4 minutes, 4-minute overtime, where Fuel, I don't think, took a single shot, or if they did, it was one shot, and that is it. That's insane. That dominance out of Humber is unreal. Oh my gosh. It honestly feels like, you ever play Bird Game 3?
Yeah.
It feels like
Insane.
Hummingbird in their Humber, because Hummingbird is OP, right?
Right.
And it needs a nerf.
Yeah.
And so and Humber is just coming in here and kind of looking like they need a bit of a nerf there. But, you know, Fuel still did get that one goal, which I think is what they're going to stick with. So, and we're already back into the game. 30 seconds have already gone by. We get a nice little player cam on the side. Shout out my producer. Love that. So just you get to see really what they're talking about when they're talking, their reactions to certain things. I wish we could have saw I wish we had this when they saw that overtime, is when that save happened, they kind of all stopped for a second, and then they're like, oh crap, we're still playing. What a save.
See here now, I'm noticing something in Fuel's attack. All three of them were right there when the ball was coming, and while that's good for defensive, you really don't want that for an offense. You already want someone in the opponent's end when that happens, and I think Rieger needs to step up as the attacker here, because Ches and Jane clearly help him on the defense. Jane, though, going up, it's going to get blocked by Poke, but a redirect here, that's the follow-through that I want. Rieger, you have to hit that. You have to be getting in there disrupting. Ches, though, not enough momentum to carry this into the opponent's end. That's why you always have to be watching for it here. As now Conestoga is able to get it over Fuel's head. Rieger does have that control, though. He's going to go up off the boards around Cyber, kind of predicting that defense stop there.
Yeah, very
as
impressive.
Jane contesting in the air. Rieger now has to control this on the bottom. That's where we want him to be. Cyber did get there in time, though, but I want Fuel to be setting up these big pass plays, control that have a lot of momentum, that aren't easy to deflect, that redirect can kind of, shake them up. But we're not really seeing anything like that happening as Conestoga are kind of mirroring them in this aspect. Poke setting it up for his teammate there, but doesn't quite get there in time. 80, though, on the recovery, taking this shot towards the net. Rieger will be in the air. Poke, though, already ready to cover that on the bottom. He's watching his teammate play around this. He's ready for that to happen as Fuel now having to keep this in the air. And they got to make something happen. They got to get it out of there, and they got to regain momentum.
What a bump, but a good save. Wow. I mean, yeah, the Condors have been sneakily adding a lot of bumps into their kind of repertoire in this game, and it's kind of just messing up a bit of Fuel's flow, and they can't really get it out of their end. But I think this is a classic quality over quantity. Fuel is going for a big quality. They just want one shot that's going to go in. I think last game, oh my gosh.
Ches!
Please, and
Get
it's
it
still
off the
not
backboard,
over.
Ches!
Nicely done by Ches. Way to control that. All his boost gone just for that. But again, the Condors probably have 10+ shots, where Fuel has like maybe 2. But if you can just get one of those to go in, you're sitting pretty, right? It's a great job, because again, like you said, quality versus quantity. 10+ shots, hopefully a few go in, or just a few amazing shots by Fuel. So it's just it's a true test of these philosophies.
Yeah, and I'm quite curious though, when it comes to Conestoga's defense. See kind of what happens where one of the players will kind of stop the momentum of the ball before it really gets into the opponent and then, gets into a pocket or where it's uncomfortable for Conestoga to play off of Poke, though. It doesn't matter as Conestoga
What a passing play, by the way. To pass it back to Poke, hits it off the ceiling, over to 80 to back to Poke.
Yeah.
They use every single person in that for all the passing. It went from Cyber to Poke to 80 to Poke to score again, flawlessly without Fuel touching the ball. Yeah. That's very impressive.
Fuel needs to be attacking in the midfield because we're seeing these clears come out and they're already ready for it. And Poke, off of the second pass play from his teammate, the one will take it in and draw all the attention from them, and then here Poke on the ground, no one's watching him.
Yeah, it's just this has been really tough for Fuel to just get anything to go. I mean, the Condors have been a phenomenal team right now. They kind of feel like Fuel last game, just kind of dominating and keeping that offensive pressure up the whole time without taking their foot off the gas, right? They're just continuously battling for ball control, and they're getting it every single time without any kind of give back, no struggle, right? So, yeah, and here another shot attempt there, and Ches, he's going to clear the ball, but all we can get is just a clear. I don't think Fuel has got to set up offense, really. And again, Poke is going to clear it, but he's going to clear it with his team because 80 comes right there and just stops their offense. And Ches is going to get a touch, but it's not enough as Reeker has barely any boost, and he's by himself on the offensive end. They just can't get anything to go. They need to be all offense-oriented right now.
They have to make something happen here. 30 seconds left in this match. Can Fuel get there in time to really save themselves from this loss, or will they falter as they're... I think we're also something to pay attention to is the boost economy of Fuel. You know, they're having to use so much boost to defend these awkward kind of positions that the Conestoga is putting towards them. And we're seeing that have a price to pay as Conestoga. You know, they only use 50, 25 boost going in for those big power shots, where Fuel they're having to use so much to get up in the air, make something happen. See so much more control there as Cyber with a beautiful flick. He's just tapping it there where Fuel's trying to extend, trying to just get it out of the way, and that will secure Conestoga's win for the second match.
Very well said, for sure. It's just very frustrating on the side of Fuel, especially going from such a close game that went into, almost like 2 lengths of a game with that 4-minute overtime, to then kind of getting a bit dominated, unfortunately, which is super unfortunate because they're better than that, right? And that was just, that last goal too has got to be a heartbreaker, kind of salt in the wound there, right? Like, you're already down 2-0. you're not gonna be able to come back. There's not enough time left, and just scoring that, morals got to be a bit down. But I know, Captain Leo's probably got to be there by their side, telling them, getting them some gameplay. But it's just looking like the rotations of Conestoga, the Condors, have been flawless, and Fuel just hasn't been able to break through that cycle. It's just been a cycle of constant offense, just constant. Even when you think Fuel stopped, they actually haven't. They just get it out for a brief moment to breathe, right? Like, if you're drowning in a storm and you get one breath of fresh air every 2 minutes, you're not out of the storm. You're just getting a small break from it, right? You get to bob your head just out of the water, but it's still there. And again, wow, a good job by Cyber just staying in that wave, making it not easy for them. And again, this is what I'm talking about. They use all that boost, and it's just going to be another shot on net. And Reeker, again, finally gets it out, but they're just going to bring it back to their end, right? Start a big push.
You know what I think they should try to be doing? I think, they need to be cherry-picking boost. Like, because you're seeing them have so much control going back to this boost. There we go, Reeker! That's what we want. Get in there. Disrupt that midfield. This is how we see Fuel make something happen. Don't give them room to breathe. Here, again, just pressing that attack. Getting those demos. Ches, you got to get in there. That's what we want. Here we go. That's the fight that we want in that shot.
Wow.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about, Fuel.
Wow, that's a crazy
That's what
read.
I'm talking about.
Okay, they had to get 2 demolitions for this, but also watch Ches here. He comes across and just in the perfect spot to get that. That's an amazing heads-up play by Ches. Obviously, Reeker does a great job of getting that shot anywhere near the goal, but Ches, it looks like a simple play. Not simple at all. To put your car there to kind of block his block, very impressive, right? Like, it's just power through that defense. And now Fuel, for the first time with a lead, like you're talking about, you got to be up in that midfield and keep this pressure on, and they are, and they're doing what you're saying. They're driving them of that boost and making it so they have all the boost. They control the pace of play. Like I said, if you control the midfield, you control the game, and that is what Fuel is doing right now as Ches goes for that. And look, you can see 80 has no boost to get a shot off here, even if he wants one. Oh, never mind.
It doesn't
never
matter.
mind. I'm
Just
going to
look
stop
at that
speaking.
Play, bro.
That's a big play for Poke there, just to get it into an easy shot. And Jane had all the boost, but just couldn't position himself there. A little Godzilla animation there. I've never seen that.
That's sick, actually.
Yeah, I mean, just unfortunate. Fuel finally had the first lead, and it seems like it was gone in a matter of seconds, because I believe it was just over 30 seconds, and it was already gone. And now Fuel is kind of back to their old ways of being on defense right away.
I think as well, they got to be looking for their positioning. Do I want to contest this ball? Where will I end up if I do? Poke here, getting it off that backboard, really trying to make something happen, but doesn't quite get the angle he wants. Now here, 80 is just sitting on this boost, waiting for it, but he's kind of distracting, leaving it for his team to try and make something happen. Poke and 80 just sitting on those sides while Cyber sits in the middle. They're just waiting for this. But here, Reeker, that's the kind of play you want. Redirect that ball, get in the way, get off the top. He doesn't have any boost, though. He needs to be retreating out of here.
Yes, no, I definitely agree. If you don't have that boost, you got to get out. They're trying to be those pests, but it's hard to be a pest if you don't have enough boost for it, right? Like a wingless fly isn't really going to bother me, right? He can't do much. He's going to be on the ground, but if you have full boost there, like Ches, you can make a nice shot and make him actually put some pressure onto Poke. And same with Reeker there. But like you said, you got to get out. You got to know when it's your time to strike and when it's your time not to. Again, quality over quantity. You want these quality shots. Don't just keep throwing stuff in.
Reeker, come on, man. You guys are wasting so much boost. You really play smarter, not harder, Like, really think 2 steps ahead. Where are you going to put this ball and where are my teammates going to be when I do it, right? Those are the kind of plays we want to see here. Cyber, he's waiting for a flick off the ground.
Wow.
Try and make something happen. Ches, though, he's ready for it. But 80, he's already there. He's already back seeing this happen. But Fuel now, a bit more pressure. Testing this. This is what I want to see. Get in their way. Be disruptive. Be annoying. Go for those ground demos where Cyber's just waiting for it. As he puts it over all 3 players, Jane gets back in time, just barely. But see, that's another thing that's good with demos is that you burn boost. Right? You take away all of the opponent's boost that they would have had. Reeker, though, but like you need a more coordinated plan of attack instead of just being there, right? But Jane, good setup there. You want that follow through. Reeker is there to support him. Get the shot off! And Fuel put themselves in the lead again.
Now, can they hold on to it?
Can they hold on to it?
That's the million-dollar question. And again, this is a really tough shot. Reeker, honestly, everyone in this league makes these shots look routine. Go into practice mode. Find a little training pack. Try to do those shots. They are not as easy as they seem. And a great save again. That's not an easy save to know to wait. Play that shadow defense. Very impressive. Reeker with a fake there and a good demo though still. So this is a nice attack, but a very good job on the side of Fuel keeping this pressure up. They know they need to waste time. They have under a minute now, and another shot
up
and just misses off the crossbar.
Jane, come on, finish that. It's all right. It's all right. That's okay.
They're gonna get back and get this boost. They know that they don't have to score. They just need to waste this time and keep this pressure up. And so they're doing a good job. What is Chez's car? Look at that thing. It has a bunch of eyes on it.
So fancy. As Fuel here doing a really good job of just keeping it in their end. This is also really good practice if they win this match for the next couple ones. They're learning
100%.
how they play when Conestoga's on defense, because we haven't really seen that happen before. It's now
it's this fight for this midfield right here. Like, watch it.
So aggressive. 80 here going up, trying to go for a setup with a pass toward a drop down for Poke, but he wasn't quite there. Feels reading these plays. Reeker is in it in this back line. He's forcing them to have to make standing flicks, which is where your cards jump up, try to just redirect. 4 seconds left. Jane, they just got to get it to the ground. Can Fuel let it hit down, and they will take
that.
Match 3. Well done. Fuel keeping themselves in this series. A hard-fought victory. Conestoga, though, not letting them breathe, especially with those first 2 minutes.
It was tough. It was a tough win, but that's a win that you need, especially to stay alive, right? I mean, it was a do-or-die match, right? So they obviously need to win. But now, 2-1. Like I said, it starts with 1. It starts with 1. Just one. And then look at this. Watch this. Look at how easily
Oh my God.
2 happens. And then look at how easy 3 is. And then now we're winning. And what does this look like?
What?
A W. I see a W in our future. All I'm saying is it starts with 1, right? And then we go back to game 4.
You'll hear already pressing this attack immediately. Poke controlling this in the mid lane, setting up for an attack from Cyber. Doesn't quite get where he wants to, as it does kind of go off that backboard. A demo here happening in their end. 80 though is ready. We're gonna see. You gotta play off that backboard. He should have been way earlier on.
Unfortunate by Reeker. He kind of just misread this here, because right here, 80 is in control. He can decide what he wants to do. Do you want to go for a shot kind of where Reeker was placed, or do we want to go bounce underneath him, which is a slower shot that he could react to? It's kind of pick your poison. It's a 50-50 there, and unfortunately went on the side of the Condors, or fortunately if you're watching for the Condors for sure. But yeah.
I guess if you're cheering for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, if you're cheering at home, no matter what, I'm just glad you're watching it with us. But again, the Condors up to this lead, and they've led. Every game they've won, they've started off with a lead. I'll just say that, right? I'm not saying it's over. Obviously, over 4 minutes left to play. It's going to be tough. It's an uphill battle. But, you know, there is
Ooh, wide open net. What's going on, guys?
It's a good save, though, by Jane. Way to be there. No boost.
No boost.
But, hey, he still made it work.
No boost. As, you know, they're looking for more of these middle ground contestants. They know where they want to be if they need to survive. Fuel, though, super low on boost versus an average of 80 plus for Conestoga. You know, they're ready for these attacks. They're playing around the ground, and they're just swiping these boosts. Fuel now have to get aggressive. Can't leave him open. But here, Ches, you know, this is in, you know, Jane, this is what we want to see. We want to see getting in there. We want to see, but you have to control that attack out. You want to be behind that ball. We're seeing when Conestoga takes it out, they're always behind that ball in the midfield. Whereas Fuel, when they clear, they're clearing from the pocket. And that's not, you know, they won't have nearly as much control going into it if you follow that up with that. Also, you know, it's all about that follow through, all about trying to make something happen. Reaker slicks it by Poke there as he tries to set up something for Jane. He's going to be in the middle here. Can Reaker get up in time, make something happen? No. 80 now in a dangerous position. He's got the ball. Contested by Ches to Cyber. Back towards Fuel's end. Reaker here controlling this ball, taking it out. Contested by Cyber. Reaker goes up, gets a flick off the air. Can Jane follow through in the middle? Ches now has a pocket on it. He flips it over, but just not enough as Poke gets it in,
but there we go.
There.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's ready for it. That's why he's the GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT. Look at this, though. This is a nice... Ches knows he's out of the play. He can bump Cyber there. Yep. Honestly, that goal, a lot of... I mean, most of it is for Ches, right? That's kind of Ches's goal there. He got that bump. You know, for Reaker to come in and be able to be in that spot is obviously amazing. Yep. Nicely done. You're positioned correctly. But Ches, to know, to just disrupt that defense that the Condors are, amazing job, man. This is probably the most excited I've been watching a Rocket League game ever in my whole life. I'm loving it. Wow, what a dribble.
Oh, my God.
A dribble bump. Now, for those of you watching at home, you might be like, that is an insane play. Yes, it is. But it's not as insane as you might think, because right there, when we're watching Poke do that, he has ball cam on. We only see it ball cam. He's probably turning off ball cam and then seeking out the player. But that's, you know, commonly referred to as a dribble air bump or, you know, whatever. And those are lethal, especially mainly in 1s and 2s. 3s aren't seen as much. So to pull that out in 3s, very, very impressive. And to get it done, you know, in this high-level, high-stakes game, it's very impressive. So, you know, props to the Condors.
I think as well, Fuel needs to be picking smarter battles here. And we're seeing these contests go up. Jane puts it wide of the pocket here as they're trying to go for a goal. 80's going to get it over. He's got a back check through here. Can he go for a bump? No! 80 gets it over. Poke follows through, leaving Reaker in the dust. Fuel now down 2. So they got that one goal comeback, but they just couldn't defend against that momentum.
It's a really solid flick there. And, you know, we talk a lot about 50s and whatnot. If you can win the right 50s, and he kind of won that in the midfield. He knows it's a 1v1, well, kind of a 2v1, right? He could have passed, and he knew that. So getting that flick over is just very impressive. And Poke, wow, just getting up there and getting in Reaker's face. But Reaker going to get a shot here. Ches just not there. Jane's nice!
Jane! Yes!
Wow.
That's what you want to be!
Wow, under the defender here. You can just watch him methodically turn around, wait for his time, and he sees Poke jump up. As soon as you jump, aim low. That's what you got to do, right? A very good job. And Fuel's already back in it. They're only down 1. There's almost a full 2 minutes left. 1 minute and 45 seconds to be exact is left on the clock. Fuel could 100% do this. This is almost half of the game is still left to be played, and they've already scored 2. What's another 1? What's another 2, right?
Yeah. You know, we want to see more stronger contention from those middle pokes here, but Reaker now has an opportunity. Jane gets the ball up. It's going to get pinched off the side. Great pitch from Poke there. Keep them, you know, kind of off the way. But Ches slipping in, has an opportunity, puts it up. Cyber, though, is kind of ready for it. So what is a little bit of a loft. Fuel now has an opportunity. Reaker's going to go up. He's going to get it over. Can he play for a bump off the top? No. Poke is there, ready to poke it out. But Ches, again, getting in there, kind of disrupting that play, playing for a stall as Jane. He's going to go up. This is not a great contention, but Reaker there. He's ready for it. Beautiful control. But yeah, you left yourself in a super vulnerable position there. You don't want that kind of thing to happen. You want to go for those smart plays. Be in the right positioning. But be ready for those top-heavy attacks as Ches going for a bounce over. Good recovery. 80 now waiting for this ball to come back out so he can make something happen. Ches just trying to get a setup for his team. To Ches, to Jane. Rieger keeps it back up, and now Poke will take this opportunity, controlling this ball towards Fuel's net, but Ches is there. Fuel's ready on this back check. They have to make something happen in these last 20 seconds, or they go to losers. As Fuel now, they've got a chance. He's up on the boards, but isn't able to get there in time, and Poke slips it under.
Wow.
It's all but potentially secured Fuel's loss.
Yeah, that might have been the dagger there, unfortunately, for the side of Fuel. I mean, they need a nice kickoff goal. They have something up their sleeve. I've seen them pull it off a few times. Let's see if they can go for it. And unfortunately, couldn't get anything to go right away. And now, look, you can just watch. He's slowly just watching this ball come down as the clock ticks. You know, it keeps going. And it's looking like Fuel is not going to be able to pull out this win. And Poke is just going to go for some show here as Fuel is going to drop down to losers. So we are going to see a third match, which is definitely going to be fun.
Maybe not. Hold on here.
They can't because they can't score two.
I believe them.
It's not possible.
Yes, they can.
No, because if it ends no matter what.
No. They score it
No,
goes
because it's 0 seconds.
It doesn't matter. Come on.
But
Fuel.
anywho,
anyway.
they are unfortunately knocked down to the side of losers, and you know, still throwing up those GGs, which I love. You know, keeping the
Keeping it real.
yeah, keeping it real, keeping the sportsmanship there. You know, now they got a bit of time to reset. I mean, very impressive on the side of the Condors. They did a very good job of just keeping that pressure up the whole way. I really wish we could have watched a best of 7 between these teams because I don't think that's all Fuel had. I think that last game, even though they lost by 2, that's what I expected out of them. That gritty game, they were there all the way to the very end, kept going back and forth. You know, they score, I score, right? Just kept up the pressure the whole way. And now we can take a look at this bracket in a moment after we get your thoughts on how the match went.
I think watching Fuel throughout that second series, it felt a lot like they were improvising. You know, it's a lot of adapting and improvising and making it up on the fly, where we saw from Conestoga, it felt a lot more practice, a lot more coordinated.
Yep.
They were playing a lot more patient with the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and they had that time. Fuel didn't really have that kind of coordinated pressure that they want. Sure, they could send a man in to kind of, you know, get in the way a little bit.
Yeah.
And while that leads to maybe 1 or 2 goals, in the end, you know, you want to have that kind of mentality to go, okay, you know, we see them coming. We see what play they're setting up here. Let's disrupt it before anything kind of happens.
Yeah, no, for sure. And honestly, you know what's crazy? There's a chance that Fuel is actually able to play Humber again if Humber wins.
USAC.
Yeah, against USAC. So we're either going to be playing Humber or we're going to be playing USAC. We are not sure, but I believe we are going to be having a little break before that. So, you know, that was a very intense match. We have another intense one because whoever wins this next one is going to qualify for the Nationals. So stay tuned, but we're going to have a little break and we'll be back with that after.
love and I've been thinking lately about the night that you left and told me that you hate me. But then man, I seen you kissing at that place we always drinking. Is the reason that I'm singing. One more shot is what I'm missing. I know I will risk it all, 'cause you're my fireball. You won't have to crawl when you gon' fly away with me. The way you lift me up, just can't get enough. Pull me out the dust, then you take me higher. This that love that don't expire, no. I got that undivided love, my fireball. Don't need no drinks when I can vibe with you. Don't need no green when I can fly with you. These lights are falling down on us right now. Yeah, and you're still shining bright. Don't need no drinks when I can vibe with you. Don't need no green when I can fly with you. These lights are falling down on us right now. And you're still shining bright. I would risk it all, 'cause you're my fireball. You won't have to cry when you fly away with me. The way you lift me up, I just can't get enough. Swallow me out the dust, then you take me higher. This that love that don't expire, no. I got that undivided love, divided love. 'Cause I will risk it all, oh, 'cause you're my fireball. Oh. You won't need to grow when you can fly away with me. Don't need no drinks when I can vibe with you. Don't need no green when I can fly with you. These lights are falling down on us right now. And you're still shining bright. Esports is competing in the Canadian Esports Nationals this week, and we'll be bringing streams every night to twitch.tv/FanshawFuel, featuring both Fuel Esports and external competition. Stay tuned at Fanshawe Fuel and all social media for daily updates on the upcoming matches. We'll also be bringing select matches to Rogers TV on Channel 13. Fanshawe College is having an open house on November 29th. Come out and meet us. We'll be in Thorwell Hall, the fuel station, and in the J Building gyms with various activations for you to interact with. We look forward to seeing you there. Finally, we're back next Monday for another Monday night game night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. Come warm up at 6 p.m. before our tournament begins at 7.
We'll also be bringing select matches to Rogers TV on Channel 13. Fanshawe College is having an open house on November 29th. Come out and meet us. We'll be in Forwell Hall, the fuel station, and in the J Building gyms with various activations for you to interact with. We look forward to seeing you there. Finally, we're back next Monday for another Monday night game night featuring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee.